r/AskMen. Ratsabanan64 says, men over 40 who have actually lost 30 plus lbs, how did you do it? Sulkata13 says, 44 here. I actually just hit 30 pounds since mid-February. I essentially cut way back on anything processed. Fresh meats, vegetables, etc. Some may say it's the don't buy anything in a box or anything with more than 3 ingredients plan. I think that is a little too simplistic. I still use spices and sauces, but not in ridiculous quantities. Essentially, just eating real food. I've had fast food about 5 times in the last 4 months. And I just restarted my HelloFresh subscription. I also work out at least 3 times per week. I have a Nordic track bike I use about 5 days a week, usually a 35-ish minute ride through one of their programs, and I have a tonal I've been using 3 times a week for some resistance/weight training, again about a 35 to 45 minute workout, dropped from 223 to 193 pounds in about 4 months. I have gotten quite a few compliments in the last couple weeks. Captain Randy says, cancer. I don't recommend this. Mike00726 says, stop drinking alcohol. Americanadian_A says, I lost 40 plus lbs on a strict low carb diet. It took almost a year. I ultimately failed because I went back to my old eating habits and gained it all back. I did not have a plan for after I reached my goal. Fat Man says, dropped alcohol and the amount I ate and dropped 25 to 30, then dropped another 15 when the divorce started. Mr. Magic 2000 says, I use the MyFitnessPal app to track calories and did it for almost 2 years. My eating and drinking habits changed. I lost 90 pounds and have kept it off now for 8 years. Jedge01 says, intermittent fasting, 16/8, 18/6, OMAD, occasional 48 and 72 hour fasts, with low carb and exercise over the course of a year. I lost about 100 lbs. And have kept it off. John_Doe_Nut says, my wife finally went through with her threats and cut my dick off. Warrior_an_garden_ says, read 4 Hour Body by Tim Ferriss. Follow it to a T-height training with walks after dinner. Was at 215, haven't been over 185 since. Got down to 168. I have Whataburger, pizza, ice cream, stuff of that nature weekly. Have defined abs in mid-30s. Read the book Thank Me Later. Grouse13 says, I've been an obese type 2 diabetic for years. Just started Trulicity and physical therapy for my shoulder. I've lost 20 pounds in a month. 2 asses 1 moo says, drink lots of water, count calories, and walk. Slow but works. Spaceballs 9000 says, diabetes and good meds for it. Broad Sharp says, my weight gain was due to medication. Walk 2.5 miles a day. 80 ounces of water a day. Calorie restriction. 200 less calories per day. Low carb diet. Discipline. Absolutely no packaged food. Made all meals from fresh. I use the app My Net Diary to log every oz of water and every morsel of food I ate. With my walks, I'm given 2000 calories a day. I only consume 1700 to 1800 a day. 5 months I dropped 45 pounds. Xathlete42 says, weights and some type of cardio. Stairmaster, spin bike, treadmill, just pick one and be consistent. Time Constrained says, low carb diet plus daily workout. Mix it up, but include aerobic workout, for instance. Run, swim, bike, every day. Strike the following 5 foods in any form from your diet. 1. Sugar in anything. Most important. 2. Rice. 3. Potatoes. 4. Bread or any baked grains. 5. Pasta. Eat as much meat and veggies as you want. Don't sweat fats and oils. Forgot my username 93 says. Diet and exercise. There is no other feasible and sustainable way. r/AskMen. That's Subreddit says. What's the most efficient way to get rid of those last drops after urinating? After urinating, no matter how much I shake, there are always a few drops. Since I go commando in the summer, it gets really embarrassing to have pee marks on my shorts. Asking the fellows how you take care of it. Preckless_R0Y says. The gooch pump. Push on your grundle and shake, no bullshit. Warping Time says. You gotta dab it. Jim Abaddon says. Pelvic floor muscle exercises. John Jacob says. Why I don't go commando, which is gross. Switch Setoux says. Put on a condom when you're done. Isara says. Dab your urethra with toilet paper. Sadly not an option with urinals, just shake it and live with the consequences. Kamishwa1 says. I call it the helicopter. Calvarando 1984 says. Maybe I'm just getting old, late 30s, but I don't mind peeing seated in the morning. The long 3-minute pees flow a lot smoother when seated. I'll only do this at home. It gets rid of the annoying never-ending drips at the end. Wistinks4 says. I was just thinking about this topic the other day, like Thursday. My grandpa had a saying when we would go to the bathroom together. No matter how much you shake, rattle and dance, those last 2 drops will always fall in your pants. I used to say, Grandpa, I shake, rattle and dance, but there's still a wet spot in my shorts. What can I do to fix it? He looked me in the eye and said nothing. Pharaon4 says. 3 words. The Mobile Pocket Penis Vacuum 9000 discreet, whisper quiet, not legally the cause of death according to any of the coroner's reports, hip, fresh, classified as a sex toy in Japan, green. Get your new and improved Mobile Pocket Penis Vacuum 9000, now made with FDA approved levels of Taiwanese pangolin penile gland extract. Today anywhere high quality vacuum cleaners or low quality sex machines are sold. Purchase unavailable in Cat, Nye, and Isle due to local legislation. Shipments outside the US must be approved by the United States Nuclear Commission, Department of Defense, and the High Antikytherian Council for Planetary Affairs of Systems, and or the unnamed one. BGF 2020 says. P sitting down. TP wipe if necessary. Thikalma Bigman says. As a man who works with majority women and we all share a single bathroom, I pee sitting down. Plus doubles as a phone break and can sit there for 7 to 10 minutes when it's not busy. It simpler says. Up down left right up down. Worldwide Ed says. P-bib. Montes_454 says. Guys Gus come we know this. No matter how much you shake and dance, the last drop always falls in your pants. 6 Alligator says. Calico cut pants. Healthy Vacation 831 says. Swing it like a helicopter. Former Trifle 5102 says. Yes, sort of wipe it in my hand and wash your toilet paper after sex. Nami name 12345 says. I mean, you just kind of whirl it above your head like a helicopter. Makes everyone around mad though, /s. Loose Recover 9142 says. You got to squeeze it from your nuts to the tip and then flick. Repeat 3 or 4 times. Kickus 1903 says. Just squeeze it starting from its beginning to its head. Wipe it if it's possible. If no toilet paper in proximity, shake it. This squeezing technique works percent 100. You won't regret it. r/AskMen. Theprocrastilitis says, men who used to be shy and socially awkward around people, how did you overcome it? I'm a 23-year-old guy and this is something I've struggled with for a while. I want to be a more outgoing and confident person, so I'm really trying to put myself out there, but man, it's tough. I work customer service, so it's easy to be exposed to so many people, which makes good practice. After people recommended it, I read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Frick, and am currently reading How to Win Friends and Influence People, and am trying to implement the tips I read in real life every time I finish a chapter. It's slightly working, but there's a lot of days I can't bring myself to socialize, but the days I do talk to people I make them laugh, and they seem to enjoy talking to me, so I feel like I have potential. Anyways, rant over lol, I just want to know how to improve, because I cringe a lot at my past interactions. Emerald Jana says, worked in very customer-oriented retail for many years. Being forced to do something has a way of making me good at it. Very thankful for the lessons I've learned in my time in retail, despite the entire concept of it being a bit of a hellscape. Yetan Thurthroy says, I moved away from home. Part of the reason I was so shy as a teen/kid was that my parents always spoke for me. When you move out suddenly, it's all your responsibility. I also find being confident is easier when you feel comfortable in yourself. Realize you're good at something, present yourself in a way that you are comfortable, but like how you look. Putting in even just a little effort to how you look feels good, and I think most people notice it. I can still be quiet and awkward depending on the situation. I'm an incredibly self-critical, anxious, introverted hermit, but I'm definitely better than I was. Zxvast says, alcohol. Siberwk says, I got a job that forced me to talk to people all the time. Haha08421 says, I still haven't. I force myself every day. I pay attention to others and study how they speak. Constantly tell myself no one is gonna remember what I say, good or bad. Bashful Cathalu 92 says, don't think so much, just talk. Scobby_do says, got a job at a car dealership as a parts guy. It really forces you to learn how to talk to people. It wasn't an overpass or couple of week dealio. It took me a few months to really get into the groove. Your past interactions should be used as learning experiences on what to and what not to do, then you can tailor it to work in your favor. As long as you're not saying some extreme shit, most people are willing to talk a bit. Down South Country says, used to go to pubs in college. I look older than I am, and have been that way since I was 16, and just talk to random people. You get pretty good at approaching people. Tyrannodus Rex says, join Toastmasters. Ledfirma 1976 says, I'm 47 and work on a mental health ward at a hospital. I faked it till I made it. Still fake it a little. I find when I try to be myself it comes off as awkward, so I'm always trying to be what I think others will like. It takes work. My kids and dog love me as I really am at home, so that's where I like to be most. Das Freebius says, a little boost does help when appropriate, otherwise just keep on trying. Like everything, it's a process. You won't be an extroverted smooth talker instantly. I look better than I says, I've always been a very scientific type of person. I remember I got a job as a call center caller and was too scared to call out and eventually got fired. I was that level of shy and awkward. I realized that a big part of my fear was not knowing what to say or how to respond when they said something back. So I decided to document how people interact with each other by going to bars or big squares or coffee shops and just listen to the conversation and write it down. I had whole notebooks with convos and would sit in my room afterwards and write potential dialogues. Later I would go out and test out these dialogues. I got kind of addicted to it and wrote whole hypothetical convos that could go on for hours. At some point I just always knew what to say and how to say it. The intonation and inflection came with time, and now I'm one of the most socially gifted people around. Scuba Dash says, consider charisma to be your body. To strengthen your body, you need to do reps of exercise. You can theorize and make plans for the most efficient way to exercise, and that's great. But you still actually have to do it to improve. Getting reps of social interaction is what you need. Obviously many here recommend service work, which you do. That's a great start, but it's only one specific type of interaction. If that's all you're doing, it won't ultimately help make you charismatic. It's like you're going to the gym, again, a good thing, but all you're doing is 5-pound dumbbell curls. With service work, you're getting lots of interactions, but they are very shallow, not a whole lot is getting discussed, not very dynamic, you probably stick to a script of sorts, whether you think you are or not, and your circumstances aren't replicating a real regular conversation, you aren't speaking as equals, you have to say or do certain things for them. These factors mean you probably are very good at this particular kind of social interaction, but this isn't the kind of interaction you probably desire to. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.